next one.
The aggregate companies wanted stones, and the farmers wanted to get rid of them.
Mine
So
close to a century ago.
they gave them to the aggregate companies for taking them away. Everybody was happy. 30 years ago you came here and there were huge piles of soil heaped all the way across it. You can see some still up on the hill up there. It's true though, eh? A lot of them went up to the mine up in Yorkshire. Potash mines up near Bolby. I'll have to come up and do you a guided tour one day.
Polish ones do it, yeah.
Well, like I said, my mother-in-law came up there. You know, the North York Moors is fascinating. It is a red curve between sort of Red Curve and Robin Hood's Bay. Have you ever been up there? There's a few of these in America. I don't know if any, well, it's not far from you really, but Dearborn. And in Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, there's 2 or 3 Cornish pumping engines, their pumps. Just dive in and push them out the way. Yeah. Or if you want to be in them yourselves.
Sorry that we're in the... Just pretend you're the local...
Used to live just across the road from us 20 years or more ago. When she rang up, I didn't know she was still alive. Well, I did because Carol said to me that she said, "There's a woman that works for me, Rick. She knows you."
Yeah, I did warn her about you.
Go.
Yeah. I did warn her what you were like.
Pardon?
I warned her.
You
about
warned
you.
her.
Everybody warns us about you.
Everybody.
You were called a cheeky blue quay, our hostess. What was yours? A Cornish character. So you should put all these things on your brochures.
Our host was very...
Of it. And it collapsed in a storm in 1815, October 1815. And it stayed down for 9 years. And it was put back up on the 3 remaining stones by a local vicar, an amateur archaeologist, a man called Dr. William Borlase. He actually employed, he didn't put it up personally, he employed a naval captain to do it, because they had the skills with ropes and pulleys and things. A man called Captain Giddy. And what they did, they put up 3 big pieces of timber up in the air, bolted them together, and then used pulleys and ropes to heave the capstone up. The problem is, if you've got a pyramid shape like this, and you're bringing up something that's flat, it comes up so far, then it'll catch on the legs. They hoisted it as high as they could.
A ford back behind the St. Ives area somewhere.
Can we put that through?
Oh, another one going in, look. These stones that you see here, these used to be the sidewalk in Penzance.
Oh, really?
Both sides of the main street. But in late 60s they took them all up, took the services in, threw them away, so they used them here. The bed of the river. Before that you didn't know how deep it was going to be, it was just a muddy bottom in it. Ours used to be a lot higher off the ground. Now up there's a fender off the front of one of the somebody's car. And I reckon they came through here a bit too fast and hit it and knocked the fender off them. The old cars, remember, they got the big wire wheels and things, so it didn't matter. They could go through quite deep water, but modern cars are very low to the ground. You feel refreshed now? Thank you.
There's Marzion behind us, just off of Penzance a few miles. St. Michael's Mound. On the way up, St. Michael's Mount.
This looks like it's an old footpath too.
Yeah.
At one point. Down here. Careful. Ho, 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 ho. You not saying anything?
No, Sally, I don't. I'm on the road to Scheichauster. It's about a 1.5 mile walk total to get there, it seems, from where the bus dropped us. This is a most typical Cornish road. That's as wide as she gets, right there. So these remains are left from somewhere between the 1st and 3rd century AD. Here, but no indication of Roman occupancy. The styles and the layout are unique to this West Penwith area and the Isles of Scilly. Step into one of the houses here, obviously.
This looks like it might be a firebox here.
Firebox here, you say? Maybe. We've got some other feature here. Little pit in that rock.
If this is Iron Age construction, then it would have been a roundhouse housing at least an extended family, if not more. You would have had a fire pit probably somewhere in the center of the structure. And then you'd have, lining the walls, you'd have areas for people to sleep, you know, where they would have platforms, raised platforms where they can make pallets and whatnot, and storage facilities also.
It does seem to be a briefly inhabited area with 2 rows of 8 houses each. This is likely the main entryway into the house I was just shooting from the other side here. Another small hut here. Actually a bit of a reconstruction there, of course. That fence. And then this hut is also a partial reconstruction to show what it may have looked like better. Entry into another room of this house. There. Another room there. A small little space here.
Interesting. Here's a stone with a very perfectly round depression in it.
Of course, another small room here. As I step in, send the camera back out into the rest of the house. It's another of these stones with a divot in it. Entryway into another house. To another suite of rooms. Today we are at the Eden Project, the former abandoned China clay pit.
Over your lips. Yes. Now it's quite okay. Now I don't see it. Do I need it? I think I don't.
I think you do, because it's something you have to stop. It's on the nose.
But we are inside.
Well, but the plants in the sun, so the sun is going through the plastic.
But you can eat.
I can't see it then.
Pinky, wait, Pinky. I'm sorry.
It jumped off us. It was too pushy.
Still in the humid tropics, and there are some chocolate. More of this one, you say? Oh, there you go. Ah, chocolate.
These are called Aziza, and they're forest spirits.
We're now in the West African part of the humid section, humid dome. Each way along the line you show a little example of what traditional living there may look like. Coffee. Papaya tree.
Oh,
We
it's
are
the
now
trail
entering the
leaf.
warm temperate biome.
Right. There is one, but it's incorrect. It's not
hops, not yet flowering. Various brewing herbs. Here we have some black cumin. And gorse. Oh, barley. Bell heather. I wish I could brew with heather tips at home. Here's some woodruff, very popular in Belgium. It's a beer flavoring agent. Bog myrtle. I've brewed with bog myrtle now. Here it is in its non-dried state. Some more barley back here. Ale cost. Bacon. And of course lovely yarrow, which I also have used.
I think I've seen this growing out in the fields here.
Yeah, you have, I think.
Well then, let's do something about that.
Right outside my bedroom window, just in case there were any doubts about how close to the water we are. Here's a little confused friend of mine who's sure to wake me up about 3 o'clock this morning. Seagulls are some noisy birds. This is out the bedroom window, the back of the house that the B&B is in. It's a nice place. Very calming. Very wonders. We're at dusk. Not really a sign of a cloud in the sky now. Goodbye, friend. Tomorrow we leave for Shrewsbury. We are in Shrewsbury in Shropshire, near Wales. 14 miles from the Welsh border, one of the streets of Shrewsbury. This town is also famous for being the birthplace of Charles Darwin, I think we've got across the street there. Yeah, that looks like him. Remains of a castle and regimental headquarters at one point. And some very typical Shrewsbury architecture here.
Grounds, at the very least.
This part of the castle is called Loris Tower. Everything's closed right now. It doesn't open for a while, so I don't know why it's called that, but it certainly affords a wonderful view of the surrounding town. Oh, there's the Abbey, I see. The River Severn, or part of it. Oh, the train station. There's that Abbey. There we go. The Abbey's beautiful. I hope to be able to take some footage later from much closer. This is being the back end of it, it looks like. The War Hero Monument, one of the generals against Napoleon there. That's pretty close to where our bed and breakfast is, actually, where we've been staying. So about 1150 AD is when this was first built. Apparently the entire church would have been covered inside in plasterwork similar to this up until the mid-19th century when they decided to knock it all down. They left this relatively untouched, but they thought perhaps they liked the look of the natural stone better, and apparently the locals agree. So it was done. What we have left here is scarcely one building complex within an entire city. Where I'm standing would have been actually the dead center crossroads of the city. This modern road here would have still been part of, and this gravel road here, this little gravel path, was the other. This red strip would have been part of a colonnade-lined buildings, and they have little markers here where the columns would have been. Structures left here would have been part of the baths, primarily. Dated to about 121 AD, this wall is considered to be one of the oldest original surviving structures of the Roman Empire in Britain. All these little holes would have been for timber supports. This would have been part of the frigidarium, or cold bath areas. Crossing over to here into where the heated baths would be. The original floor would have been on the level I'm standing now, so shooting down here, this would have been all below the tile work, supported by these little brick pillars through which heated air would have been pumped. This is probably one of the furnaces here, I'm guessing, left to heat that air. It's the backside, or the inside, probably more properly, of that same structure. Same piece of wall, of course. On this side you can see a bit more of the intricacies of the brickwork here. We are in Ironbridge, just a few miles outside of Shrewsbury. I found this woman in the last pub called the Malt House. She was sitting there looking like she was looking for a little company Americano. So I let her buy me a couple of pints, and here we are down by the river. the River Severn. Iron bridge named for the oldest iron bridge in Britain. But this is just a wonderful little day walk here. And that bridge that I referenced earlier is right up here. Not really a good vantage to see it at the moment, but there it is, the oldest iron bridge in the nation. Of this nation anyway, right there. My local interpreter tells me that's 1780. Tips of another bridge far down the Severn, standing on the iron bridge now, over the river.
That have to keep working.
We are in Welshpool, getting ready to take our steam train journey into Wales. The old 822. are in Wales, end of the line. This is the Welsh side station. Soon they'll be bringing the engine back, all loaded up, and carting us back into England. We are in the grounds approaching the Powys Castle in Welsh Pool. This is around the backside of Powys Castle. We're still within the castle grounds. I don't know if this will come out, but it's just a magnificent view from up here. You don't allow it to climb up higher than this.